Okay, and welcome to the final section. This is a major milestone. In this section, we're going to really bring the scene alive. It's the part of the course where everything just comes together right at the end. And they always say when making games that 90% of the work's done in the last 10% of the time, and I think that's actually true. Because there's so much preparation, so much work that goes into it. You have a vision, you have to create all the assets and bring it all together, and it does take a lot of the time. But you don't see the final scene until the end. You can keep layering. It's like it is an art form. Creating game art is an art form, and it's like painting. You put down your base coat and you layer it up and you layer it up, and you keep going at it until you have a final painting. And it's the same for art, game art. So this is what we're going to do in this section. We're going to take a brief look at Unity terrain-based trees. Now, I'm not a fan. You might have noticed, but I'm not a fan of the terrain system in Unity. I mean, functionally it works fine, but it doesn't give you enough. I can't put a tree with normal maps that looks fantastic and can animate in the wind using the terrain system. It's just not, it doesn't let you do it. You have to use plugins that you download from the asset store. And so I'm just going to compare the two here and just show you the difference between the two. Okay, so next we're going to replace any white box objects that are left with our HD models, and there's still a few left, those in the scene, so we're just going to make sure we get them all out. We start building our scene with just high detail meshes. That's all we want in our scene now. We don't want white box stuff. Then we're going to take a look at adding some particles, some mist. Obviously we've got the barrels in there, but we're going to look at the smoke and the mist, and rolling mist in our scene. So yeah, we're going to look at adding some of that, and then we're going to use our white box models to add collision to our high definition models, and that's reusing assets that we've already created, assets that we've already paid for and spent time on. We're going to start reusing them now. So all of what we've done starts to come together now, starts to get reused. We've got our concept, and we've built our white box models, and we're using all that stuff to really bring our final scene together. And then we're going to light the scene and use the post-processing to really make the scene shine. And this is quite an important part of the process. It's the last thing we do, obviously, but it has the biggest impact in my opinion. And a lot, if you're doing this, you need to take a lot of time over this. I go through it with you to show you what it all does, and I show you the mistakes we make, and I actually make a mistake, and I've left it in deliberately just to show you the types of things that happen when you're making games. But spend a lot of time using this post-processing, because it makes Unity really sing, and it makes it really start to sort of match Unreal's sort of rendering power. So it's getting closer all the time to the top end, and it's certainly capable of doing it. Just a few things in there, as we've discovered along the way, that really need cleaning up without downloading assets from the asset store and buying stuff, which I kind of think Unity rely on to some degree because it's a free software. So they've got to fund it. So anyway, let's get going and let's get this final scene done. I'll see you in the next lecture.